Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
Greetings, everyone. The Tonic Man once again. Coming up to Christmas, I'm going to take a few days off. Our pal Lenny is going to host the call on the 27th and on the 3rd. So do come and support him and bring all your wonderful success stories, both health and wealth. Remember, we try very, very hard to help you with your health problems, but we also try hard to have you understand that you can get rid of your health problems and you can drink free. And that you can do simply by paying it forward, saving a life. Help thy neighbor as you help thyself. You know that old saying? The golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's the same thing with this, except in spades. I say in spades because health is probably the most precious part of our being. If you have poor health, you miss out on a lot of things. You also have pain and sleeplessness and worry and expense, and it goes on and on. Imagine if you never spoke to anyone who said they were feeling terrible. Sure, if you feel out of sorts once in a while, no big deal. Have a good night's sleep, eat some good food, and you're going to be good as gold. But in this country, everyone is really, really ill, and we're doing our very best to stave that off to help. So the disclaimer you heard is very, very important that you all understand. And of course, you folks on the call that have been here before and have joined our family some time ago or a long time ago have heard me repeat this all the time, and I keep repeating it on the conference call for the benefit of new folks joining us who have not heard very much yet. So we want them to be sure when they talk about their wonderful, miraculous, remarkable results that they don't say, JC Tonic cured my problem. And it's not just that they won't say that, it's that they cannot say it because JC Tonic did not cure their problem. Doesn't matter what the problem was. Does not matter what the health issue is. You don't need me to tell you. Go online, look up the human body, and see what it's all about. You'll see a picture of the human body. You'll see all the organs and the systems. You will be able to even listen to videos on every single part of the body if you so choose. And I think you should choose because it's enlightening. And what you will see is what we've been saying since my father started to commercialize this product in 1943, big time in 1945, but he gave it away for years as he was developing it, and it was all about the body as a whole. That's why we call it a whole body tonic. That's why Doc Mowry on our website remarks that there's 10 points that a whole body tonic must be able to achieve, and he lists them and he says, look at that. Every single one is addressed by this JC tonic. So my dad really put together a product that, well, not only is miraculous, but look, it's lasted since 1943. I guess it must work. You bet it does. Talk to anybody who's been drinking it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Next week when Lenny's hosting the call, he's going to tell you his story. He was given up for dead. Just like a few weeks ago we had Bob and Carrie Joe on the call. He was given up for dead. They told him, go home, you're going to die. Here's a ramp for your wheelchair. It's the best we can do. There's nothing else we can do. He was on like 22 medications. Nothing was working. He was getting worse and worse. Lenny was in the same way, and that was over 20 years ago. He's going to tell you his story in great detail, just how bad he was, just how sick he was, just how they gave up with him as well. But they're not the only ones. I've heard these stories for 50 years or more. I talk to people nonstop, folks, and remember, all you new folks, if you have friends, family, loved ones, anybody you've spoken to about the JC Tonic and you're not quite sure how to handle it, how to address it, how to help them with their health woes, give them my phone number. It's easy, 702-498-6409. That's my personal phone number. I give it out freely. Anybody is welcome to call. You don't even have to buy anything. I don't ask people for an order if they call. I just give them the goods. I tell them what it does, what it can do, and give them some direction that if they decide to try it, here's what you should do. And believe me, folks, that's what you have to learn how to do to be able to tell folks as you speak to them, address their health issue. Don't talk just about yours, address theirs. And if you do that, you will see that you'll have a lot of people wanting to use it. And when they do, you will be drinking free because there's a nice little reward there for you for every bottle that you place. So you're not selling it, and Lenny's going to go over that as well. He doesn't sell it. He's been doing this for years. Doesn't sell it. He tells people about it. That's what we all have to do. You tell people about it. You give them the facts. And yes, lots are going to say you're a nut. They still say I'm a nut. Maybe I am. But you know what? This nut saved a lot of lives. So can you. And that's what we want to ask you to do. So listen to the call tonight. It's another great success story, but it's even more enlightening because the father of our guest was blind. He couldn't see at all. Wait till you hear this. So our pal Betty, of course, is the one that brought Jeff to the call, and I'm going to pass this on over to her and let her introduce him and take it from here. Betty O, it's all yours.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. And hello, everybody. Actually, our guest tonight is Jeff, and Jeff lives in North Carolina. And it was actually his cousin who introduced him to the formula, and I work with his cousin Alan. So it's all kind of a family affair, as we say. But, Jeff is very young, actually. He's only 48 years old. I could be his mom. Actually, Anthony could probably be his grandpa. he started having some problems a little while ago and got onto the JC Tonic. His dad, who's been on the tonic almost 2 years now, promoted Jeff to try it. So I'll let Jeff tell his story, and then he will tell you about his dad's story as well, which is absolutely incredible, to say the least. It's a miracle. So hi, Jeff, and welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Oh, like Betty said, my name is Jeff. I am from North Carolina, and I was introduced to the product through our cousin Anthony. Anthony had been telling my dad about it, for about 6 to 8 months before my dad decided to try it. And once my dad tried it, he was talking about how my dad couldn't see. He was blind, totally blind. And after about, I want to say anywhere between 1 and 3 months, my dad started telling me that he started seeing light. And I was like, glory. I said, so he said, okay, about 6 months, he started seeing shadows. And I was like, yeah, there we go. I said, nah, this is pretty good. And I was still a little skeptical because I was like, okay, Dad, that could be anything. But he told me that he just started taking the tonic. And I was like, okay, let me check this tonic out. So my dad started taking it. I was reluctant because I was like, okay, I've heard so many stories and such and such about this is the one thing that's going to work. I was like, okay, well, my dad was getting, 2-3 bottles. I was like, this stuff must really be working. And then he was telling me how good it was for his eyes. And I was still skeptical. So I had a little pain in my back from arthritis. And I said, okay, Dad, you're having such a good, results from you taking it. I said, let me try it. So I tried it, 2 weeks, and the pain eased up. I was like, great. I said, well, glory. It's easing up. Good. So I said, well, I'm going to get off of it 2 weeks and see if the pain comes back. 2 weeks, the pain, it eased back on. So I said, okay, I'm going to start taking the tonic again, the JC Tonic again. And so just to show, 2 weeks later, the pain started easing up. More and more pain started easing the more I started taking it. And so now I hate to say that I'm pain-free, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to, it's not really a nagging pain anymore. It's more of a, I'm still here, but I'm not bothering you. So
was that a pain? I mean, excruciating? Explain what kind of a pain. I mean, people have arthritis and they grin and bear it, and they take a painkiller or something. Is that what was going on?
Yes. See, my arthritis is in my back, and it's not in my hands or my knees or my hips or anything. Mine was in my back, and I kept complaining because the pain medicine wasn't working. The stuff they were prescribing me, it wasn't working. They told me, they said, well, if the pain medicine is not working, I don't know what you're going to do. And I was like, great. So now I got to just live with this. And young as I am, I said, I didn't think about having to live with it for another 40 years. And so I was like, well, that's when you start trying everything. Okay, I'm going to try this. The old home remedy. Let me try this. That didn't work. Let me try this. That didn't work. I said, I had nothing to lose by taking the JC Tonic. I said, well, my dad was paying for it. So I said, I ain't had nothing to lose. I just, I'll try it. And boom, I started feeling better. I really started feeling better, and it was amazing. And like I said, and so I still take it now, even because I don't have any pain, and I still take it because I don't want the pain to come back.
Did you? So, that's a good idea, and do it because it'll serve you well. Did you find any other things changing in your body and your health in general?
Well, my health in general, yeah, my blood sugar and my cholesterol, all of that was getting better. It's getting better. Like I said, my last checkup, my numbers have went down. So, praise God.
What does the doctor say?
The doctor's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Oh, yeah. Were you on medication or yet or not?
Yes, I was. I was on cholesterol medication. He said, you can try going without it if you want to. He said, because your numbers are so good. And I was laughing to myself. I was like, I stopped taking it 3 months ago.
Your numbers are so good, meaning that he thought you were out of the danger level and your numbers are good, so you don't have to take the medication anymore. Was that it?
Yes, that's what he was saying, that my numbers were so good that I didn't have to take the medication anymore, and I didn't want to let him know it. I had stopped taking it 3 months prior.
Oh, boy, that is really great. You see, everybody is being put on cholesterol medication and blood sugar medication and high blood pressure medication. Even if it's not shooting through the roof, they start giving it to you to control it. This is great.
Oh yeah, I say
news, Jeff. That's really great.
I stand behind your product. Your product is really good. It's working wonders.
Yeah, I want to get back to your dad because he is an incredible story. Now, when he started the tonic almost 2 years ago, he was totally blind. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Could not see anything.
Couldn't see anything, no.
And how long had he had that condition that he was blind?
We're talking, I think he went totally blind in 2015.
Wow.
And, he went totally blind in 2015. We had to move him into a assisted living place. Retirement village was just one room. And then it was just, when I say one room, I mean one bedroom and the front room was hooked together where he could actually navigate because he still wanted to be on his own. Mm-hmm. And I was like, come on, Pop, you want to come and move with us? And he was like, no, I still want to be on my own. I said, okay. And they started taking the tonic, and he said, I can see light and stuff now.
So can he walk around on his own, or he needs a cane, or he needs a help, or can he get around?
Yeah, he can get around on his own. Great. Like I said, but when we go out, he takes his cane with him just to make sure that he doesn't fall over or anything. But yeah,
but at home he can maneuver around through the house, and he's fine. Isn't that amazing?
He said he can see light now, so he knows where the kitchen is. He just follows the light. He just turned 77.
Oh, so he's still a young man.
Oh, yeah, he's perfectly young, yeah.
Well, he's not as old as you, Anthony, but...
That's right.
Well, that's incredible. Yeah. I tell a lot of people your dad's story, because a lot of people ask me, will it help with my eyes? And I said, well, let me tell you a story about George. We've had a lot of reports on eye conditions.
He's an inspiration.
Incredible. Well, that's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope he's telling all his pals about that.
I know he is, because we talk about it all the time. Remember, somebody asked me about it, I say, hey, taking this tonic that we got from my dad. And he tells his friends the ones that he has to hang. Well, he hasn't been hanging around anybody now because of COVID, you know, but he's telling people, you know, he used to tell people all the time, hey, this stuff is good stuff. You ain't got to believe me to, you know, get your own bottle. He said, I give you a sample of my bottle.
Is he generally healthy, or does he have any health issues besides the vision?
He has a little bit of hypertension, and that's gotten better. His blood sugar's gotten better. Cholesterol's gotten better. And so all this stuff has gotten better. But see, the biggest thing that what the doctors were more happy about, because my dad doesn't get around as much as he used to. And he used to be pretty active. Now he's not as active, and his numbers are still pretty good.
So that's changed since he's been on the tonic as well?
Yes, that has changed. It's been an amazing journey.
I'm just making sure that we repeat all that, because for folks listening to the call, you know, some people say, well, it's only good for older people that have this and this and this. It's not. It's good for anybody that has blood in them. It doesn't matter how old you are. And there are youngsters now getting some of these illnesses that only middle-aged used to get, and before that only older people used to get. Now everybody's getting the cholesterol, the hypertension, the cholesterol, the sugar. I mean, so this is good for everybody because of the way it activates and changes the blood. That's good. That's really, really great, Jeff. Much appreciated.
No problem. Like I said, I appreciate your product. Every time I see Alan, I tell him, I say, hey, man, thanks again for turning this on to JC Tonic. Like I said, it's been amazing.
Yeah, he's wonderful, Alan. So for yourself, like some people, they'll try it, and it'll start to work, and then they'll kind of sit back and think, is this really from the tonic? And they'll go off of it. Well, you actually went off of it 3 times, right? Before you were sort of convinced that every time you went off of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, your problem came back, so you kept doing that.
That's interesting.
So some people
because you don't believe it. You don't believe that it's actually working. So, you know, everybody who's human, we say, you know what, that ain't the reason.
Yeah, you're right.
It comes back and says, shoot.
Yeah, that's human nature, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a skeptic anymore. I am a believer.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Jeff, we greatly appreciate you sharing that. Get out there and pay it forward and get all your pals on it, because at 43 or 48 or 50 or 60, everybody's breaking down and they all need the help. And by the way, you know, of course, that you get a few bottles out there to friends, you'll end up drinking free for yourself. So that's a nice little plus, just to help other people, you know.
Yeah, and you're going to get a free bottle today with your order for doing this call with us. So thank you.
That's right. You get a free bottle for helping us out and doing this call.
Yeah, perfect.
So that'll go out in your that'll go out in your next order, and it'll be on us. And we appreciate you coming on to share and tell people. That's great.
No problem. Like I said, anything I can do to help. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Much obliged. Thanks a lot, Betty, for another great success story candidate. And Jeff, thanks, and we'll talk with you soon again, we hope.
Say hi to your dad for us, Jeff.
I'll let him know. All right.
He can
Thanks again for having me. Thanks again.
Hey, tell him he can get on the call and get a free bottle.
I'll tell him next time.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye.
All righty.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Betty. So what do you think of that? This fellow could not see. Now he can see enough to get around. Well, as I said in my opening remarks, as I talked about the disclaimer and the claims, this is not a product that's going to cure a blind person. But whatever it did in the man's body, the body started to regenerate in such a fashion that it was able to start clearing the vision. Now, we do not know how long it'll last. We don't know how much it'll improve. We don't know how great it'll get. But we've had people, I remember speaking to a lady whose dad was 99 and he had macular degeneration, so she told me, and he was wearing magnifying kind of glasses. just to be able to see something up close, to read a little bit. And she said that he couldn't even move through the house without these on. And one day she came home and she said, "Hey, Dad, you don't have your glasses on." Well, he said, "Honey, I didn't know how to tell you this, but I haven't worn them for 2 weeks." Holy Toledo. When she told me that, I almost had a heart attack. So even a 99-year-old, the body can regenerate, and it can regenerate enough to be able to do things like that. So it doesn't matter what you suffer of, what your loved ones suffer of. Give the JC a try and watch and see the miracle. It's magical. You'll know this on the first bottle. You do not have to drink it for 3 years before something happens. On the first bottle, you're going to feel some kind of positive benefits that at least is going to tell you, this is for me, I'm going to keep taking it. So get with the person that brought you to the call. Call home office on the 800 number, 800 JC Tonic. Call my number. I gave it at the top of the call. You can just call and talk to me about your health issues and get on with it and watch and see what happens. Okay? So here we are. This is the end for me for 2020, and I'll see you in 2021. Have a grand holiday and have a jolly and Merry Christmas and anything else you celebrate. All right? See you later. And don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce.